Hey, what's up everybody? It's the HYPHENATE here, and today I'm going to show you how to save your custom settings and custom color profiles onto your Sony camera using the memory recall function. This works for all Sony E Mount cameras from quite a few years back till now. And it's super beneficial because if you know that you have specific types of shooting that vary, you can save those different settings on the different memory recall slots. On the Sony a7 III built in, it can store 2 different memory recalls. And if you have a memory card in the camera, it actually can store an additional 4. Before I show you how to do a memory recall save, let me first give you a little overview of how it works and what you can do with it. When you do a save on a memory recall, every setting that was on that camera at the moment is stored. Aperture, shutter speed, color profile, audio record levels, focus type, focus area, etc. Now, using these memory recall saves will save you a lot of time from having to go into the menu to change your settings if you already know what type of shooting scenarios you generally do. So with those various 6 slots, you can do all types of variations of settings so that way you can quickly change to your different memory recalls without having to go through the menu and looking for things and forgetting things. For me, every single slot is different for shooting scenarios that I do often in different environments. Sometimes I'm doing video, sometimes I'm doing photo. So let me give an example. On my memory recall save slots, number 1 is for 4K video at 24 frames per second with my custom color profiles and audio level at 27 dB. So I've already done a video on this channel about my favorite custom color profile for Sony cameras. And the way I'm able to have that custom color profile at my fingertips ready to go at any moment is by saving it on a memory recall slot. On one of my other memory recall slots, I have settings set for photography with high burst rate and continuous autofocus. When I'm taking photos of a bride throwing her bouquet, or I'm taking an engagement photo shoot with a couple walking down a path together, I like to capture many photos in a short period of time so I can have many options to find the money shot where the movement looks most natural and flattering. Generally, when I'm taking portraits, I have my settings set very differently than when I'm doing high burst rate photos. And I don't want to go through the menu and waste time with clients trying to get the settings right. So I use a memory recall, so all I have to do is turn that dial and boom, I'm ready to shoot. Now again, you can use your memory recall for all sorts of variations. Now enough of me talking, let me show you how to do a memory recall save. So here I'm going to show you how to access, use, and store memory recalls on Sony cameras. Here I'm working on a Sony a7 III, but this will work on other Sony E Mount cameras as well, though the location of the settings in the menu will be different. So here on a Sony a7 III, you go to Menu, and on page 3 of tab 1, you have MR for recall, memory, and media. Now before I show you how to use it, let me first show you how it works when accessing the recalls. Currently I'm in manual mode and you can see my settings here. I have no color picture profile. I am on AFC, wide autofocus area, shutter speed 1/50th, f2.0, ISO 400. Now on my camera, I'm going to turn the dial to number 2 for my memory recall. As soon as you go into that 1 or 2, it'll show you the settings that you have for that recall. If you want to select this recall, you press the center button inside of the wheel on the back of the camera. Or you can navigate to the right to go through your different memory recalls that are stored on your memory card. So here on recall number 2, you can see my settings are actually set for 60 frames per second HD video. I have a shutter speed of 1/125th, 60 frames per second. I have my custom color picture profile, and I'm on AFC wide focus area. Select that, and now you'll see all the camera settings are set to what are on that memory recall. If I turn the dial back on my camera to 1 or go back to 2, then it'll take me back to the memory recall options. Here, let's go to M1. And this one I have set for high burst photography shooting. You can see I have high plus on the left. I have a shutter speed of 1/400th of a second. ISO is 50. I have RAW and JPEG, and I have no color picture profile. Select that, and now my camera is ready to shoot with all those settings. Now you can make adjustments. You can change your shutter speed, your f-stop. You can change pretty much any setting, and it won't affect the save that you have on the memory recall. However, if you go out of a memory recall mode, let's say you go back to manual mode, and then you go back to your memory recall, it's going to take you back to the settings that you had stored. So here I'm changing the shutter speed, changing the f-stop, and changing the ISO. Now let's go back into manual mode. Now it goes back to all the settings I had prior to selecting a memory recall. But let's say I want to go back to that memory recall M1. I'll turn the dial back to number 2. Head over to M1, select that, and now it's back to the settings that I had originally stored, not all the variations I made a few moments ago. So keep that in mind. If you're switching back and forth between profiles and you're making different adjustments, if you don't save those adjustments, it'll recall whatever the saves that you had before were. So that's how you access and use memory recalls. Now let me show you how to actually save one into a memory recall slot. Here I'm on video mode on the camera dial. Let's change the shutter speed to 1/125th. Let's change the ISO to 1000. Let's even change the audio record level. Right now it's at 15. Let's change that. Let's bump it up all the way. Now, if you want to store these settings, you press Menu, go back to tab 1, page 3. You're going to go to MR for memory. Click on that, and now it'll give you a slot that you can save these settings into. Now, keep in mind, if you accidentally click on one that already has something stored, it's going to overwrite. Currently, I have M2 available with nothing stored, so I'll go there. You'll then press the center button, registered slot 1. Now keep in mind, right now I'm still on video mode, not on a memory recall mode. So let's change the settings back. I'm gonna go to 1/50th of a second shutter speed. I'm gonna change my ISO back to 400. And I'm gonna change my audio levels back to 15. Now to use the memory recall we just stored, I'm going to turn the dial to number 2 on the memory recall on the camera, and then from here I'll hover over to M2. And here you'll see the settings that we use for the save. I'll select that, and now the camera's ready with those settings. ISO 1000, 1/125th of a second shutter speed, and even the audio levels back to 31. I just switched the camera back to manual mode on the dial, and now I have my settings that I had before going into the memory recall. So there you guys have it. That's how you do a memory recall save on Sony cameras. Please make sure to drop a like on the video and a comment if you have any questions, and please make sure to subscribe. I have a lot more videos coming soon. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.